Now, did lose some footage, so you're gonna, rather than replay for the whole game, we're just gonna go through all the questions I could ask Leo again. But, yeah, this...
Oh, hey, mister. I need to be back.
Already spoke to him once.
Here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larisse said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And a lot of folks really did keep coming back.
What are you doing to the containers? Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them. He waves at the containers towering behind him. Sure. Let me ask you something else. Where is everyone? The harbor's empty. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates keeping the scabs from coming in. He leans in with a confidential look. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on a strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now. So no one is working? Not everyone is down there, of course, he chuckles. Mr. Everett's in his office where he always is, and Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. He pauses to think. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble, and Everett sent them on a nice vacation. Drunken trouble. For a week or so, he stops, but eager to tell you more. What kind of trouble did this Titus and his groups get into? Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business, he smiles and leans closer. Him and his boys stirred something up in town, probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett tell them to take some time off. But what did they really actually do? I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. Another chuckle. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school. Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hardies. He looks to you for assistance. Look at him. He's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better go with the flow. Too rowdy? Leo, what kind of a fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary? Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving and words are spewing forth. Words and words. And look. Even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a priced fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know, just cut in there with your questions. Do you work here? Nope, that's the wrong one. I asked the wrong one. Who... Are you the Leo who wrote the note to make more banners? Oh, yes, he replies excitedly. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. The old head of mine is ain't too good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht. What was that about the borscht? Oh, I've got some special whirling borscht to the men every day. I've been taking some special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. The little man chuckles heart merrily. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. He shakes his head with a wide smile. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renaudin's boar dogs with some every time the lunch is done. There's many names I don't know how to pronounce. Okay, it's a recurring thing. And what do you mean by taking this soup to the men? Is it for striking? Yes, I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes them all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling rags. Something is off about this borscht. Who makes it the whirling rags? Oh, the whirling's cook, he makes it. Them is always talking, and Mr. Mefina in that weird language, and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad. Something is off about this borscht. I'm going to look into it. Oh, sure, mister. Sure, the little guy nods. You do that. Yes, sir. He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just nodding along. Do you work here? Yes, everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo. The little man raises his hand in a welcoming gesture. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man, and when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Everett is away. He chuckles. Actually, Miss Buford is the right-hand man, but she's a lady. A good-hearted chuckle again. Who is this Miss Buford? The lieutenant looks up at Leo. A real pretty lady with the skin like them dokes and secure candy bars me missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sits down besides the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do here and I'm always busy keeping things running. Yes, I am. Who is this Miss Buford you mentioned? Oh, Lizzie, she's a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years since she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. He respects that word, that's obvious. But she's a real nice girl, grew up here in this neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure. He goes on. If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Limitar said so, and she knows about much such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has. He sighs and falls silent, watching you meekly with his blue eyes. So Everett trained a lawyer named Mrs. Buford. Interesting. I think you're doing a great job here, Leo. Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo. The lieutenant smiles at the little man. Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. You didn't think it was possible, but his smile grows even wider. What's in that container over there? Oh, that one. He looks at the container. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. Told you. Okay, I'm off. And there you go. So now we're gonna go off and talk to Jean-Luc, who may already be off at the body. Who knows? We'll find out. Measurehead, there's the man.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Thank you. Everett told you to help us get the body down from the tree. So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior. Then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, and I will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands. You're so noble, Measurehead. There's a but. But, while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. He turns to the lieutenant. Both of you. Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that? This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with the compromise. Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious face may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup. Okay, then. Babe, see that they stay here the whole time. The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves. She turns to you. So you guys like the cops or something? Why are you with Measureheads? Look at him. He's cranometric perfection. Are you cops or what? Yeah, we're the law around here. Cool. I like men with guns and power. The woman trolls her hair. I'm Katya, by the way. You hear that? The lieutenant looks towards the yard. That sound. He's breaking something. Yeah, Jean-Luc must really be tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it. I also wish I could see it. Oh. Look at you! RCM Rent-A-Cops, a loud voice booms from below. Guarding that bridge like Everett's lapdogs. Is this where it is? Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale. And who are you? The lieutenant fires back. What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you? I'll work with whoever I want. A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him. The corpse has been removed from the tree. He brushes wooden flakes off his hands. He broke the whole fucking tree, didn't he? Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with race victory today. Thank you for your cooperation, Measurehead. Farewell, ham sandwich. You are a union man from now on. Alright. Good talk, Measurehead. Pleasure as always. Yep. Well, not the whole tree, just the branch. But I mean, hey, it solved the problem, I guess. The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pine wood branch. It's gently laid on one side. Beautiful. Mr. Measurehead has done a good job, the lieutenant nods approvingly. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. A field autopsy? Yes, he covers his nose and lists 1. Investigation of the scene, 2. Initial examination of the victim, 3. Field autopsy, 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We're on number 3. The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual. The fuck are they on about? Cop's gonna cut his shit up. Got it. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses. First, what exactly is a field autopsy? Come on, officer. He pulls a pair of latex gloves. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. What you do know is at 18.9 kilometers per hour is the dormant shield volcano Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single et puis descend to crack the top 50 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea. Why don't you know? What good are you? You must have confused me with the Copopedia. Who's the Copopedia? I think I need to talk to him. You, sir, you are the Copopedia. Shit. Do you have another pair of gloves? Unfortunately, no. Okay, I'll take it like a man. Unhygienically, yes. I suggest I handle the physical part of the autopsy and you take notes. We just fill in this, right? Show him the Redfield autopsy. That's right. Yeah, we got this. We're smart. Open your ledger at the field autopsy form. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists describing the condition of skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11 field info form needs filling out. It begins with 1 assistant. That's you. Right, Raphael Ambrosius Costo. The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says, coroner's case number. KK Kim Kitsuragi, 57, precinct 57, followed by his date and time of arrival. On the scene, he's indexed the case after himself, not you. That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials. Well, the good thing we've already solved that problem for him. Write it down. Next, name. N.A. Next, date of birth. N.A. Age. The lieutenant corrects his glasses. Roughly 50. Try 40. The damage is so extensive it's better to err on the young side. I mean, I'll go with Kim. I trust Kim more than, frankly, my own brain, you know? The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook. Race, Mondial. Fair to olive-skinned from the Isola of Mundi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say white-ish. Write it down. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything else. Sex. Fucky, fucky, the little monster exclaims energetically. Male. Pig's gonna have sex? Right? Fucky, fucky. No, we were right, male. Date of, nor does he look male with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face. Date of birth, we're still going with March 4th, 50, or date of death, not date of birth, with March 4th, 51. What else? He looks over your shoulder. Body identified by is non-applicable. Case number is the same as the coroner's case. KK 57 0503 0815 listens, motionless, with his cargo belt still around his neck. Only 1 box remains. Evidence of treatment? None, at least not after the initial examination. What exactly is treatment, anyway? Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. I mean, I'm not sure about that one. A silent nod, the lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small woodshed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside. Light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette ball-like against the window. Outside, Grand Corin. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Torson. Hand extended, he approaches to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories wide, wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath. We should start the post-mortem. Turn the page. What the fuck just happened? The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on its chest. It is no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why. External examination summary. Clothes, he begins. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is bourbandine, I think. Let's see. He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label. See, it's happening! Bourdainine, yes, inexpensive, size M, color white. The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid. Write it down. The boots are ceramic virtuose enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downwards post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire, if you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to. You have deserved them more than anyone else. When am I gonna get them? Patience! After the autopsy, before the body is taken away. There will be a window of opportunity after the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege. I'm not going to steal the boots from the dead body. Write it down. The boot has a serial number. He twists the dead man's foot. It is... The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by its design. Write it down. Tattoos. He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene using a Trigat Mini. Write it down. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot, color yellow, length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. He produces a measuring tape, well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.80 meters, generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good, ambient temperature below freezing. Write it down. Body hair is light brown, distribution is consistent with age. He kneels in to get a better look. The deceased had male pattern baldness, hair is combed back, short. Touch the corpse's hair before moving on. His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch, not that different from a living person after a swim. Stroke his hair gently. The stench is suffocating. Dark strands of dark hair start sticking to your hand like thread off a rag doll's head. Keep petting him. More hair sticks to your hand. Okay. Write down. I'm surprised Kim had nothing to say about that. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity. Fucking low velocity? The kid explodes. You think Coon Kuno doesn't know what you talking about. Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity. The lieutenant pays no heed to it. In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest consistent with predation. Write down, but amend for high velocity. That is admittedly tempting, but I will not give Kuno the satisfaction. Ligature mark. The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut. The steel wiring, he concedes, breathless. There's too much of it. We need to remove the cargo belts so we can get to the ligature mark. You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. Ah, good. Ah, yeah, I'm prepared. Pet the chain cutters. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble from rot from his nose. Good thing we got these chain cutters. Pull out the... Always good to think ahead. Now, he points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck. We need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below, carefully, with as much precision as you can. See, my pig is gonna cut his head off! No, he ain't. See looks Blaze. Your pig's a boring fuck. So, look for a good spot to cut first. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges with bread, rising from the yeast. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, boys. 1 in 4 chance. Let's go. Fuck. You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then rotate some more. Really, really bad smell is coming out there now, and some kind of cracking sound. Fuckity fuck. Fuck. The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as you summon power words to your aid. Some more. Yeah, fucking fuck that Fagari? Corpse fucking time. Told you my pick was hardcore. He steps in and takes the chain cutters from you. I should have a go, I think I have a strategy. Let him work. He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts with his elbow to the knee for some precision. Snap! The knot is slashed, another cut, and the belt falls from like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature marks around it. Here, he hands you the chain cutters back and kneels closer to the body, running his finger along the dark red groove until he comes to a gap. The rope raises to a point, he says, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Write it down. Chest is intact. He presses down on it. Nominal contour, abdomen, normal contour, same thing. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia. He pulls down the man's underpants. Now it's gonna happen, see? I fucking knew it. Genitalia is male and unremarkable, no evidence of injury. Inspect the genitalia. The dead man's penis is average size, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish, marbling is present around the crotch. Write it down and move on. Back is symmetrical and intact. He struggles to turn the corpse on its side. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty. The scarring is extensive, way more than a law official's. He nods. We have a real museum here of battles, wars. Write it down. Last item, hands. He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Pick up the hand. His flesh is cold, icy. Pleased to meet you. Where are you from, and what is your name? My name is I'm only fucking with you. I know where where you're from Cappadocia, and your name is Lil Cabo. What can I do for you, Il Cabo di Cappadocia? It's good to hold your hand. Did you like it when I stroked your hair? Wow, it knows. I did, Kobo. I did. It reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean. Hands are clean, the lieutenant concludes. The dead man's fingers slip from your hand, cold and sausage-like. No sign of injury from struggling. Were we expecting any? I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Whoa. He turns to the side to breathe. No, whoo, not whoa. It's not enough. He buries his face in his sleeve of his jacket. You hear a muffled voice. That's all for the external. Well done. What's next? Internal examination. Summary. Central nervous system, he says, and then concludes abruptly. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system? Of course, there's a moral to be drawn from it, a moral to the story. If I may add the moral of this story, what would that be? He looks at you inquisitively. The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of the story. The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply. The lieutenant grins. I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. All right, N.A. Good. Mucoskeletal purge fluid is coming from the mouth. He gets close to the mouth hole, eyes squinting from the stench. No, not injury-related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see. With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night. Yeah, jack that fucker off. The hyoid bone is fractured, he says after a while. The rest of the mucoskeletal system is intact, unremarkable. Write it down. Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. Respiratory system, he stops to exert more force. Both hands are used. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucus of the lips. Mucose of the lips and mouth. Look inside the dead man's mouth. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there, sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight into the mouth of his. Look deeper inside. Okay, I'm not surprised. That's okay. We got some, It's hard. Once more you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat, a contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow just to keep looking. Inside you see darkness, just a mess of meat and darkness. There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later. The lieutenant lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shut before you. Hemorrhaging present in mucus, he repeats impatiently. Write it down. He wipes his brow. Hepatobiliary? Why, don't we have anything? He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. Are you a hepatobiliary expert? I don't think so. Neither am I. And that's it. That's it. Right, N.A. Same for toxicology and serology. Both, unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there. Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits? Would obscure tidbits and odd trivia fit the fields? No. The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do. Like a toxicology screening? He looks at the monster. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine, but still, you should add a request. Add toxicology requested. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with a hanging. Gastrointestinal, he breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground, to the pool of feces there. This will do. And then he touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly and says, disgusted semi-solid fluid in stomach. Voila. Write it down. Keep the voila. What's next on the list? Descriptions of imageries? Injuries. Summary. Let's see. He tilts his head. We have bite marks, contusions on head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one, too. What about the injuries we have inflicted? Oh, he looks incredulous. So we inflicted them? Okay, I inflicted them. Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a lodged in his lung. And an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. There's a pause. I wouldn't mention those. Better not muddy the waters. I agree. The muddy waters are muddy enough. See, these pigs are fucking corrupt. The boy nods approvingly. Why don't you fuck them if you love them that much? Now, injuries, bite marks. He nods. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Ontonologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer? Beneath the description are 2 boxes waiting to be ticked. Non-fatal post-mortem. Agreed. Next injury, contusions. So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. A perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem at maximum velocity, fucko. Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity. Write it down. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath the description of injuries, 2 boxes, non-fatal post-mortem. Next. What's the 4th field for? Nothing, just in case. I see. Ligature mark. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the neck, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck. Below the note, 2 customary boxes waiting to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, awaiting your judgment. The ring is around his neck. The ring is around his neck is visible. No, the ring is around his neck is visible. Yeah, that's fucked up. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it looks like he got hung, you know. Fatal injury. That's it. He cracks an easy smile. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned, but it's a start. He produces a small black plastic roll from his jacket, a body bag. Let's wrap this up, I pronounce. The field autopsy over. First, how did it go? Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicology screening. It was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks if we're lucky. I would not hold my breath. What else? We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was professional field autopsy. What now? I need a copy of that autopsy form, then I will drive him to Faubourg, rip out the copy of the autopsy report. For processing. He looks at the dead man one more time, then a slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again. You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. Fuck it. Give it a go. Yeah. Look under his fingernails, like Kim already did. His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. That's all. Do you think we missed something? You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you. I've got a gut feeling there's more to this. Okay, well, we're in livor mortis here. He's disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination. And we need to do it fast. Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body? It would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Garte at the Whirling Rags and Frittle store down at the gates. If they don't know, his voice tries. His gaze settles on Kuno, but only if all else fails. Fuck are you looking at, Bino Man? You want a piece of Kuno? Wanna get fucked? Only if all else fails. Can you take another look at the body first? Okay, locked, never mind. Tell me something, dead man. At the autopsy, you said you have ancient mysteries. Oh, yes, Kobo mi Lobo. The gift, horse's mouth, tracks and wakes and waterways, ancient materials buried. Yes, but to where, brother? Just a small gulp away, my beloved Kobo, a small gulp away. Enough. Alright, well, let's see if we can find a see if we can find a refrigerator. Let's go ask the man. I wonder if the Friddle's even still open at, like, approaching 9 p.m. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All around you, rain falls in the great city of Revachol. Rain drips from the caves and floods the gutters. At the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away. The spring thaw must be here, the snow is melting. What am I doing? Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hair. What do I see? Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another, rain falls down on the world. How does it feel? Humid. Your coat shields you from the rain while the city shivers around you. What is in the west? Sheets of rain over the water, a flight of stairs leading into the ocean, wave after wave, washing the coast of Martinez, with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet. Beyond the bay of Revachol, ghosts rise into the sky. Who are you, ghosts? The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows. Will you ever go there? Will I? No, you are just one of the hundreds of thousands who watch them rise across the bay from Martinez every day. What is down the shore? Urban coastlines, rain dripping from the eternite-covered roofs. Cinder blocks left over from a half-finished construction, a defunct research and development building once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water, and beyond that, Coal City, and end of all lines. Run your fingers through your dampened hair. Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash from neighboring coal plants. Smokestacks rise in the distance. What's in the east? The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake from its hide. Clench your teeth to stop the shuddering. Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue, metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The greater Revachol industrial harbor is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within, and immeasurable poverty in its shadows. And beyond that, Le Dresiny, King Driss's passenger harbor, cruise ships flanked by dock arms, cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary. What is across the distributary? Quran, the lower middle class distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off in the rain. And what is beyond the Kauron? A silvery curtain of rain over the houses, the class divide. You have never been there. They don't need the law east of the river. What is in the north? Cape Side apartments, tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46 millimeter bullets still lodged in the war-torn stone walls. Hallways collapse from mortar hits of war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. Radios play the evening news. And closer to here, a yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. Filthy water pools around a body. Droplets of rain from the dead man's cold cheeks. What's in the south? A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down the windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He is too cold. The Carnal Bridge has been raised. What's on the other side? The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snow melts in Jamrock. Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at? Have a brother in the cut, where the wood at? Why am I not there? To be in Martinez where no one goes, at the run-off point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadows of the day of the revolution failed. What am I doing here? Standing in the rain, looking north where Jamrock City stretches inland. Shudder, look further. In the rain-swept distance above the rooftops of Jan Rock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain. Your vision blurs, you wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes, making you look up and blink. What's above? Coalition aerostatics hang like apparitions under the cloud cover. Way up there where the rain forms, rotors flutter silently. Your sight clears. Motherfucker. This rain will not let up anytime soon. At least we're dressed for it. Let's keep moving. Yes, let's go talk to Gertain.